14 times Prince Philip's gaffes made the news. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, was one of the most colorful and controversial members of the British royal family. During his decades supporting Queen Elizabeth, Prince Philip became as famous for his blunt, off-the-cuff remarks as his public service. This video will recap some of Prince Philip's most jaw-dropping comments that sparked scandal and outrage over the years. From racially insensitive quips to sexist jokes to tactless insults towards locals and institutions, his legendary gaffes provide a window into the unfiltered opinions of this cantankerous public figure. Though often offensive, his brash words exposed the raw, unvarnished personality behind the decorum of royal duties. Buckle up as we explore some of the most infamous incidents that earned Prince Philip his reputation as the monarchical family's gaffe-prone loose cannon. Number 1. If you stay here much longer, you'll all be slitty-eyed, 1986. Prince Philip's racially charged slitty-eyed remark in China sparked intense backlash and epitomized his history of insensitive gaffes. Referencing Chinese people's eyes as slitty dredged up a long, painful history of anti-Asian prejudice. For centuries, bigoted Western caricatures had depicted Asian eyes as slanted and narrow. Coming from a British prince, the remark carried the weight of historical imperialist attitudes that denigrated non-Western body types and cultures. Chinese-British organizations condemned Prince Philip's words as dehumanizing and racist. The incident fueled perceptions of deep-seated prejudice within the royal establishment, that a privileged white royal felt entitled to publicly caricature and racialize Chinese bodies struck a profound nerve. Regardless of intent, Prince Philip's flippant words cut deeply by echoing generations of toxic stereotypes. It cemented his reputation for appallingly tone-deaf remarks that amplified historical prejudices. Number 2. Do you still eat dogs? 1986. During a 1986 visit to the Solomon Islands, Prince Philip's blunt inquiry about eating dogs revealed a profound cultural insensitivity. His assumption that an entire nation regularly ate dogs generalized diverse Pacific cultures into a crude stereotype. It portrayed Solomon Islanders as primitive and savage, recalling offensive colonial-era tropes of uncivilized natives. These racialized stereotypes strip locals of individual dignity and agency. Prince Philip's failure to research Solomon's culture before making generalized assertions symbolized a broader dismissiveness and lack of interest in the people he theoretically represented. The incident highlighted how blithely Prince Philip voiced half-formed assumptions without considering potential offense. Whether due to negligence or racial insensitivity, his tactless dog meat question exemplified the damage wrought by his habit of speaking recklessly. It left Solomon Islanders feeling dehumanized, while cementing Prince Philip's global reputation as a recidivist purveyor of culturally ignorant and racist remarks. Number 3. Don't tell me the Queen has been to your school. They've got enough medals already, 1992. Prince Philip's quip dismissing a Scottish student's pride in awards from the Queen revealed astonishing insensitivity. Sarcastically stating the school had enough medals already conveyed utter disdain for the child's achievement. It minimized efforts the Queen herself had honored, arrogantly declaring medals worthless without Prince Philip's approval. This elitist attitude treated ordinary people's accolades as undeserved or frivolous. The remark also disrespected the Queen's judgment in recognizing the school's merit. Prince Philip effectively positioned himself as the arbiter of which honors held meaning versus those he callously dismissed. Such a cavalier, superior perspective showed blatant disregard for either the student's accomplishments or the Queen's interest in the school. It exemplified Prince Philip's pattern of making thoughtless comments that served no purpose beyond boosting his ego and putting others down. Whether due to imperiousness or carelessness, the comment highlighted his recurring lack of empathy when engaging the public. Number 4. Bloody awful place, 1994. Prince Philip's assessment that the remote Scottish Isle of Lewis was a bloody awful place managed to offend an entire community in just 4 words. For residents of Lewis, Prince Philip's blunt condemnation felt like an imperialistic Englishman disparaging their home and way of life. His uncensored opinion exemplified the voice of privileged authority looking down on marginalized local cultures. Prince Philip made no effort to acknowledge Lewis's long history and hardships, including economic depression and emigration. Without any nuance, he dismissed the region as irredeemable based on fleeting observations. This reckless judgment foreclosed any potential dialogue or mutual understanding. It reinforced the stereotype of the out-of-touch royal whose wealth and status prevented comprehending commoners' lives. Number 5. Ghastly place, isn't it? 1995. Prince Philip's assessment in 1995 that a proposed National Gallery extension was a ghastly place exemplified his tendency for criticism without expertise. As neither an architect nor artist, Prince Philip lacked the credentials to officially evaluate the design. Yet he felt entitled to personally disparage the result of a rigorous public selection process. This demonstrated an arrogant assumption that his subjective taste could decree the artistic merit of a national cultural institution. Prince Philip gave no insightful critiques, only vague condemnations that amounted to, "I don't like it." His blunt opinion undermined the work of actual experts who deemed the design worthy. More significantly, openly dismissing the National Gallery alienated the public the royals supposedly represented. This indifferent elitism characterized Prince Philip's habit of making provocative statements without considering how they served the nation. Number 6. Typical bloody tourist, 1997. Prince Philip's curt dismissal of a photographer as a typical bloody tourist during a 1997 Thailand visit encapsulated his short-tempered impatience. When the cameraman accidentally collided with Prince Philip, the prince's reaction was an immediate, undiplomatic rebuke. Cursing at the flustered bystander revealed Prince Philip's underlying contempt for public interaction. His outburst laid bare a temperamental tendency to lash out when uncomfortable. This loss of composure proved embarrassing on an official visit where Prince Philip ostensibly represented British goodwill. Chastising locals doing their jobs contradicted any idealized image of ambassadorial poise. The incident also hinted at a deep-seated resentment of Prince Philip's ceremonial duties engaging the masses. His open irritation amplified perceptions of a privileged, entitled prince resentful of obligations to common people beneath his notice. For a nation already skeptical of royalty, witnessing Prince Philip's unveiled displeasure at public events compounded criticisms of an unsympathetic, thin-skinned monarchical family. Number 7. Are you deaf? 2003. Questioning a deaf teenager, "Are you deaf?" during a 2003 visit highlighted Prince Philip's recurring insensitivity to disability issues. His blunt, tactless remark reduced the girl entirely to her disability. Rather than learning how she communicated, Prince Philip's first instinct was to blurt an inappropriate personal inquiry that forced her to confirm a stigmatized identity. His privileged position meant never needing to consider how such questions might hurt or dehumanize. The insensitive blunder fitted Prince Philip's pattern of public gaffes and ignorance on disability matters. Through thoughtlessness or indifference, his heavy-handed remark subjected the girl to awkwardness and shame. It encapsulated criticism that Prince Philip's unchecked bluntness frequently exposed offensive views, often at the expense of vulnerable minority groups. Number 8. Well, there's a good reason for that. 2009. Prince Philip's vague dismissive response in 2009 to an inquiry about handshaking revealed an arrogant assumption that his behavior required no explanation. When a factory worker asked Prince Philip why he wasn't shaking hands during a flu epidemic, his cryptic answer, "There's a good reason for that," dodged the substance of her valid concern. Rather than politely educate the woman that limiting contact helped prevent infection, Prince Philip implied she should already know better than to question his decisions. This curt, condescending attitude suggested an expectation of automatic deference. It presumed Prince Philip operated on a higher plane of wisdom, not requiring elaboration to common people. His presumption embodied a remarkable elitism and entitlement that his royal status exempted him from accountable explanations. Critics charged that his superiority complex reflected an out-of-touch, tenured royal. Prince Philip's prickly response when asked innocent questions appeared instinctive, heightening perceptions that he lacked empathy and understanding for regular citizens' perspectives. Number 9. It's a bit difficult to get used to the harem. 2012. Prince Philip's 2012 reference to a group of female military recruits as a harem encapsulated the sexist undertones still coloring his perception of women's roles. The term harem instantly conjured images of scantily clad female servants entertaining a powerful man. Using this language to describe professional soldiers reduced them to sexualized objects rather than skilled military personnel. It implied these capable, courageous women trainees existed only to titillate and please Prince Philip. This profoundly demeaning attitude clashed with modern norms of gender equality. Yet Prince Philip felt entitled to deploy the sexualized term even while visiting the recruits in an official capacity. The remark spotlighted his outdated views of women as decorative adornments rather than self-determined agents. It contradicted the recruits' purpose and achievements. Regardless of whether Prince Philip intended offense, his word choice reflected unconscious chauvinism out of step with contemporary society. It reinforced criticism that his unfiltered comments laid bare reactionary prejudices against women's increasing public prominence and autonomy. Number 10. How do you keep the natives from bonging? 2013. Prince Philip's use of the terms natives and bonging together when inquiring about Australian Aborigines exemplified his history of unprecedented racism. His question embodied profoundly offensive imperialist stereotypes of Indigenous peoples as violent savages needing control. This crude imposition of stereotypes demonstrated utter disregard for Australia's ongoing struggles against racism and inequality. Prince Philip's word choice recited the ignorant vitriol of past generations of violent colonizers. Using such dehumanizing language while visiting modern cosmopolitan Australia showed astonishing insensitivity and lack of awareness. The fact he saw no issue vocalizing these prejudices revealed Prince Philip's deep incomprehension of racial issues. Number 11. I'd rather be a rangy dog than a royal prince. 1998. Prince Philip's overheard confession in 1998 that he would rather be a rangy dog than a royal prince provided a rare window into his private misgivings about royal life. Prince Philip's candid statement revealed frustrations with the constraints of his ceremonial public role. Preferring the unencumbered freedom of a stray dog showed the restless, independent spirit of a man who chafed at protocol and formality. This impromptu remark exposed tensions between Prince Philip's maverick personality and the conformity demanded by his position. It suggested that despite material comforts, aspects of royal duty bred in him profound dissatisfaction and feelings of entrapment. As a take-charge military man, the tedium of ribbon cuttings likely grated on Prince Philip over decades. His behind-the-scenes admission hinted at a longing to roam free of ceremonial obligations. For the public, his bold confession provided a glimpse behind the proper facade of Prince Philip's inner turmoil. It humanized a seemingly remote figurehead by evoking sympathy for the challenges of life in a gilded cage. Number 12. I don't care what they say. Prince Philip's stubborn refusal to apologize for controversial remarks revealed an imperviousness to public opinion. When confronted over inappropriate comments, his stock response, "I don't care what they say," highlighted his refusal to back down or modulate his speech. This disregard for others' reactions encapsulated Prince Philip's self-assured conviction that his royal platform permitted unrestrained expression without consequence. Critics decreed this unrepentant attitude as arrogant and entitled, exemplifying an elitist mentality that his views reigned supreme, however offensive to common sensibilities. But this also reflected the strength of character. However contentious his opinions, he frankly owned them without political spin. Number 13. We're all just bloody amoebas. Prince Philip's rumored speculation that humans are all just bloody amoebas captured his philosophical bent on scientific topics. The unconfirmed remark revealed Prince Philip engaging with weighty questions about mankind's essence and origin. Rather than reflexively defending humanity's special status and creation, Prince Philip adopted an egalitarian perspective, declaring royalty and commoners alike once primitive life forms leveled traditional hierarchies. This scientific worldview valued evidence over self-important delusions. Stripping away mystique to ponder humanity's beginnings showed an inquisitive mind open to free-ranging intellectual debate. Apocryphal or not, this statement aligned with Prince Philip's eager promotion of science and technology to improve society. His willingness to position the royals within evolutionary science, not above it, demonstrated admirable thoughtfulness. Number 14. Just remember, One day, you'll be old too. Prince Philip often reminded youth of their mortality, advising them that one day you'll be old too. While well-intentioned, his frequent invocations of aging and death exuded a certain condescension, especially when addressing youthful errors. However sound Prince Philip's advice was to appreciate life's brevity, his tone often conveyed an air of world-weary fatalism that dismissed the ebullience of youth. For young ears, being preached to about mortality by an elderly prince could seem patronizing or even morbid. There was an insensitivity in Prince Philip's fixation on decline and decay when engaging generations naturally oriented towards growth and discovery. His remarks embodied the cliched lament of the gloomy elder declaring today's youth slouching towards ruin. While Prince Philip meant to temper adolescent excess with wisdom of life's transience, his delivery carried inadvertent echoes of a courtier from a bygone era passing stern judgment on newfangled ways. In the end, love him or hate him, Prince Philip's outspokenness offered a unique perspective into the man behind the crown. His blunt, politically incorrect remarks reflected both his privileged insulation from consequence and his fundamental independence of spirit. While often revealing backward views on race and gender, he also gave glimpses into his philosophical curiosity, frustration with protocol, and admiration of scientific progress. And though many considered him an out-of-touch relic, his unmatched experience also lent him wisdom about life's transience that younger generations would do well to heed. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Prince Philip and his controversial role as the Duke of Edinburgh. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest royal family videos. Until next time, bye!